This is News 4 San Antonio Today, the only local news station with nonstop news.
Good morning. Nonstop news starts right now. We are the only station that is commercial free all the way until the top of the hour. We have you covered this morning. You just heard from Jeannette, and she'll give us a deeper look at weather again in just a few minutes. But first, let's check in with Joy and see how traffic is shaping up. Joy, you've been keeping an eye on an accident.
Yeah, so this is on the west side of San Antonio where a vehicle caught fire. We've seen that fire be put out, so no longer any flames in this area, but first responders and firefighters are still on scene and hoping to get a wrecker out here soon to get that cleaned up. This is Highway 90 at Loop 1604, and this is causing a very significant delay for anyone coming into San Antonio from the west side. Photojournalist David Mendoza knows that firsthand. He is sitting in that backup right now, and David, as you join us now live from Road Cam, you mentioned you were able to get a glimpse at this vehicle. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Joy. Yeah, and when I was on the westbound lanes of 90, I passed it briefly. It's pretty much a metal frame at this point. This vehicle completely went up in flames. I'm hearing reports that it might have been a Nissan Altima, a police officer referring to it as crispy. So very significant flame damage to this vehicle. The good news is I did see that wrecker assigned to this call fly past me, making their way through traffic right now, hopefully getting this cleaned up pretty soon. For the moment, though, 90 East is a parking lot. I will say that traffic is not at a complete standstill. It is slow, but it is moving. Hopefully I'll be able to make this scene by the time we talk next, so I'll let you know and I'll keep you updated. Back to you.
All right, David, thank you. And we will be able to speak to David again here very shortly, and hopefully we'll be able to check out that wreckage for ourselves. Out in New Braunfels, we are also following an accident here in the southbound lanes of I-35 at Walnut Avenue. That is causing a delay for us this morning. And then back in San Antonio in the downtown area, some slowdowns because of the construction on the upper level of I-35 northbound between I-10 and Brooklyn Avenue. That's everything we're following right now. We'll check in again here soon with your on-time traffic.
Joy, thank you. Right now, investigators are looking for a teenager last seen in far west Bexar County. The sheriff's office says 17-year-old Alex Chavez was last seen Tuesday morning near War Party Trail near Callison Bend. They say he could be in the Water Wheel subdivision area. Chavez was last seen wearing a Detroit Lions hat and hoodie and blue-gray shorts. If you have any information, you are asked to call the Bexar County Sheriff's Office. A former Atascosa County Commissioner pleaded guilty to stealing county-owned diesel for his personal use. In exchange for his guilty plea, Atascosa County Precinct 4 Commissioner Kennard Bubba Riley was required to resign from office, serve a year of probation, community service, and pay full restitution. The Texas Rangers say the investigation started because some employees reported it. He also had to write an apology letter addressed to Atascosa County Commissioner's Court, taxpayers, and residents, saying he was truly sorry and he accepts full responsibility. The new year may bring a good surprise when it comes to prices at the pump. Gas prices are expected to be low for all of 2026. News 4 San Antonio's Christina De Leon joins us live with more on the reason behind the decrease. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Marissa. Good morning, everyone. You know, it mainly comes down to oil and oil prices for the year. Here at this gas station off Fredericksburg, the gas price remains steady at $2.25, although we've seen it lower between $2.04 and $2.12 throughout the start of the year. Compare that to last year. It was almost 50 cents higher at $2.71 a gallon. But again, things are expected to hold steady below $3 for most of 2026. In fact, according to AAA and Gas Buddy, we can expect this trend to continue throughout 2026. Gas Buddy reporting 10 states are forecasted to enjoy yearly averages of less than $2.75 a gallon, and Texas is one of those states. That's because crude oil prices remain relatively unchanged from the end of 2025, and this downward trend is because oil has just simply become cheap worldwide. Prices are not being driven by a lack of demand, but simply by an increase of supply across the board. Now, you may be wondering about Venezuela and their disruption, but it wasn't much of a factor for prices because it's going to take considerable time to build the nation's decaying energy infrastructure for us to tap their oil reserve. But believe me, the U.S. does plan on doing that, and it's anybody's guess on what that will do for oil prices. But for now, they will remain steady. at below $3 a gallon, and it is expected by AAA and Gas Buddy to stay that way for all of 2026. Reporting live, I'm Christina De Leon. We will send it back to you.
Christina, thank you. A legal battle is brewing over the installation of rainbow sidewalks in the Pride Cultural Heritage District. Pride San Antonio and the Texas Conservative Liberty Forum have filed a joint lawsuit against the city. The lawsuit states the city made the decision to remove the rainbow crosswalks and use public funds for the $170,000 rainbow sidewalks without holding a public meeting. The lawsuit also states City Council didn't get a chance to vote on those sidewalks.
So both of these organizations want City Council to make this decision. They want the opportunity to make their case, even though they may be on the opposite sides later, but they want that opportunity to make their case open in public, have debate, ask questions, and leave it all on the table. This lawsuit could be over tomorrow. All they need to do is put it on a council agenda within 72 hours notice and let the political process play out, and this lawsuit is over.
On Monday, the city workers will remove those rainbow crosswalks. Google is taking over your Gmail inbox with AI, and the IRS has set the date for the start of the tax filing season. Jane King is live at the New York Stock Exchange with those stories and more. Good morning, Jane.
Yeah, Marisa, good morning. Yeah, it's the time of year again we start to think about taxes. So taxpayers may begin filing the 2025 returns on Monday, January 26. Now, for those who are eligible for the IRS Free File program, they will start accepting those individual returns today. Now, this is for taxpayers who are qualified to use the program by having an adjusted gross income of $84,000 or less. This tax season will see the use of a new form called the Schedule 1A. That can be used to claim the recently enacted tax deductions, like the taxes on tips, overtime, the interest on car loans, Social Security recipients, all those changes that were made in the most recent legislative session. Well, Gmail now uses AI to help you write messages and keep your inbox organized. The advancements include helping users compose messages, finding information that's buried in an email inbox, and delivering daily to-do lists. With the new features, all Gmail users will have access to what Google calls a Help Me Write tool, which helps users with their grammar and phrasing. And half of Americans say they're more disconnected than ever, but in a good way. A survey of 2,000 Americans, 50% say they have made a point to disconnect digitally and spend less time on screens for their own well-being. And young Americans are trailblazing this trend. More Gen Z and millennials are getting offline than Gen X and baby boomers. This study was conducted by Talker Research on behalf of Thrift Books. Well, the most popular New Year's resolution is to get healthier. Unfortunately, many people don't make it very far. In fact, today, January 9th, is designated as National Quitters Day. Anytime Fitness's global brand president Stacey Anderson says the key to making lasting change is not just looking at one moment in time, but getting support to stick with the change.
And really seeing the small changes you're making every single day to keep that motivation beyond the first few months and really make a lasting change for your whole life.
Overall, Gen Z was more likely to have set New Year's goals for 2025, and baby boomers the least likely. Well, the Dow got back to the rally, closed up 270 points yesterday. Defense stocks led the way, and this morning we're quiet as we wait on the monthly jobs numbers, which will be out at 8:30 Eastern Time. Live from the New York Stock Exchange, I'm Jane King. Back to you.
Jane, there's always a day for everything, and I forgot today was National Quitters Day. I was just looking at that earlier this week. Don't be a quitter.
I'm just saying, it's only January 9th. We can't even make it this far.
Right. We can't even make it 2 weeks. My goodness. Anyway, thank you, Jane.
Yeah.
Have a great weekend. Happy Friday.
Thanks. You too.
In consumer news, the House passed a bill extending health care subsidies for 3 years despite opposition from the GOP. 17 Republicans joined Democrats in support of the bill. It extends subsidies for people who are covered under the Affordable Care Act, or what's otherwise known as Obamacare. A discharge petition allowed the small group of Republicans to bypass House Speaker Mike Johnson's objections.
The Senate said it was impossible to do. But where I'm from, difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week.
The bill now goes to the Senate. President Trump is directing the federal government to buy $200 billion in mortgage bonds in hopes of making home ownership more affordable. In a social media post Thursday, the president says brokers Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, which are under government conservatorship, will foot the bill for the purchase. President Trump says this will drive down mortgage rates and monthly payments.
Now your certified most accurate 4-zone weather with meteorologist Jeannette.
All right, very important to be weather aware because we're going to see some changes here. First off, during the day today, we're looking at the chance for a few showers or thunderstorms, and some of the storms could be on the gusty side. Not expecting any widespread severe weather, but there could be a few spots that could see thunderstorms that produce hail. Generally small hail, pea to dime size, that's about a ½ an inch to an inch in diameter. There is a level 1 severe weather risk for a part of our area. I'll show you that coming up. Now, we're going to see a polar front that arrives tonight. This is a strong front, and it's going to produce strong gusty winds and usher in some much colder air. Gusts overnight tonight through at least midday tomorrow, 30 to 40 plus miles an hour. Wind chill temperatures heading out the door tomorrow in the 30s. Now, by Saturday night into Sunday morning, we may see even colder temperatures settling in. However, the wind won't be as high, not that much of an issue. We could see maybe a light freeze in portions of the hill country, especially some of the valleys there could get to at or just below freezing come Sunday morning. This morning, watch for fog, and this is primarily affecting our far eastern areas. If we're going to be driving east along I-10, that's where visibility may be the lowest. Aside from that, plenty of clouds, and there is a bit of rain, but it's very patchy. It's light. Just to the west of the I-35 corridor, there is a Pacific front. Out ahead of that front, very warm and humid air is coming up from the south, and that's what's helping to produce that rainfall. And there goes the front. It has stalled out just to our west. Notice the polar front. That's across North Texas. Behind that, it is cold enough for snow. Starting to see some snow showers getting into the panhandle. We'll see more showers and storms developing later today across the east. Some strong to severe storms possible north of Houston. So heads up, just to our northwest, we'll have to watch for spotty storms. That's between 9 and 11 a.m. This could affect the north or northwest side of San Antonio and back towards Hondo, Bandera, perhaps Kerrville and Bernie. By noontime, we'll likely see some showers and storms developing in the eastern zone. Late this afternoon into the early evening, primarily east of I-35 is where we could see some more showers or thunderstorms. Tonight, tomorrow morning, colder and windy, cloudy tomorrow morning, and then partly sunny in the afternoon. We're going to see clouds again Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon, some breaks of sun. Level 1 severe weather risk, there it is. This is for northeastern Bexar County and points east. That includes a good chunk of the eastern zone. Level 2 risk just north of Houston. Today, we're going to see temperatures reaching the low 70s at noon and then dropping into the 60s. It'll be warmest in the eastern zone. Tomorrow, 45 to 59. Could see upper 30s here Sunday morning and Monday morning with afternoon highs in the low 60s. Here's the extended forecast for the other 3 zones. By next Tuesday, another opportunity for rain, just a slight rain chance. That's the extended for the hill country. One more. There goes the extended for the eastern zone.
Okay, we continue to follow that situation over on the west side where a vehicle had caught fire. This is Highway 90 and Loop 1604. Those flames were put out a little while ago, but we are still seeing some significant traffic delays behind this. And photojournalist David Mendoza is live in road cam approaching that scene. But David, you have fallen victim to this backup. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, that's right, Joy. Big delays on Highway 90 East in between 211 and 1604. I've been sitting in this traffic about 25 minutes now. I have been able to move. That's the good news. We are moving, but just very, very slow going. Fire and police still out at this frame of a vehicle that's been completely torched. Also did see a wrecker, so hopefully we should get this cleaned up pretty soon. I will leave you with that. Drive safe and have a great Friday. Back to you.
David, thank you. We appreciate it. That accident we were following out in New Braunfels causing about a 15-minute delay right now. That's I-35 southbound at Walnut Avenue. That's the latest with your on-time traffic.
Joy and David, thank you. Before we let you go, it's almost time for Animal Planet's annual Puppy Bowl. Team Rough will take on Team Fluff. This year's canine sports event on Super Bowl Sunday will look a little different. For the first time, there will be 15 pups with special needs, and a special exhibition game will spotlight senior dogs available for adoption. Team Oldies versus Team Goldies. You can watch the Puppy Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday, February 8th. That's always fun.
So cute.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oldies versus Goldies.
Perfect name.
Yeah.
Hey, make sure that you're weather aware, specifically between 9 this morning and 4 this afternoon. That's when we could see some spotty storms from San Antonio, specifically the north side of town up into the hill country. And it gets colder this weekend.
Colder. Grab a jacket.